Before you use contact, you must know how to read the floor, so now once you attack, you could actually be effective. So on this play with Kyrie, he gets the ball from Max Christie, and when he's at the top of the key, he has two ways he could go, right or left. To his left side, he's got Steph Curry, who's loaded up on help at the elbow, guarding Max Christie. But to his right side, he's got Klay Thompson in the strong side corner with Jimmy Butler guarding him. And Jimmy Butler won't help because Klay's a knockdown shooter and it's strong side corner. So what does Kyrie do? He goes to this right side, and now he could use contact. He uses off arm to sweep off Buddy Hield's right arm, so now he can get more momentum forward and prevent Buddy Hield from slowing him down, and now he's still reading the floor. And as he drives, he sees post step over from the weak side, so what decision does Kyrie make? He now spins to this middle, protects the ball on the left side of the body on the way up in case Hield reaches, and now he's able to get the bucket. Does contact make scoring easier at times? Yes, but sometimes you won't need it at all. So on this play, as the Mavs come down in transition, Kyrie ends up giving the ball to 8, and then he goes into a chase action. And the second he catches the ball, look at how the floor is spaced out. You end up seeing Buddy Hield, who now goes underneath the screen. You see Post, who's in line with number 8 as he set that screen. And then on that right side, you got Klay in the corner. And since Klay's a shooter, you got Jimmy, who's attached, and Steph, who's watching out for Klay in case he pops, because you see right there as well that Kessler is also trying to set a screen for Klay. So there's not going to be help on the right. Hield's out the way on the left. The big's out the way on the screen. So what does Kyrie do? Go straight down his right side, and he gets a layup. Anytime you get the ball in the triple threat, this is how you should set it up. So as Prosper brings the ball down, Kyrie is already physical with Buddy Hield inside the three-point line, right? Inside the three-point line. Not outside, but inside. Because now when Prosper ends up throwing him the ball, he could pop out and be right outside the three-point line to where he could even shoot that if he wanted to right off a pull-up. And so now what does Kyrie do? Having to catch and not being as physical, he reads the floor. But this is also where the defense, particularly Draymond, makes an even better play than Kyrie did. And so as Kyrie scans the floor, he's looking at that weak side. He sees that Post is still worried about what's going on that left with Edwards and Klay. But now, as he does that, watch what Draymond does as Prosper cuts through. So Kyrie ends up going left, and Draymond decides not to follow Prosper and act as a flood defender, the help defender on Kyrie's attack, forcing him to pull up early, and now Kyrie ends up missing that. But nonetheless, take that right there about the triple threat and add it into your bag. Be physical early every time. To make better use of using contact, get yourself a better matchup. So Kyrie's primary defender is Gary Payton II. And so he gets Christie to set him a screen, so now Steph Curry could switch on to him. And now once Kyrie gets to switch with Steph as he moves left, notice Kyrie's body. His chest is still angled to this sideline. And why is that? Because now what this is going to allow Kyrie to do is that once he likes his angle, he's going to be able to drop low and get his shoulder and attack Curry's hip. He's going to embrace that contact, seek contact, because this is going to first force Steph to open up a lane for Kyrie to attack. And so now once Kyrie gets close to the rim, he sees that Moody steps over to help. He hop steps into Steph's body, gets him out the way, forces Steph to continue to move back. And now with Moody right in front of him, he shows that ball forward, bumps him just a little bit with that left shoulder, and now is able to create enough separation to shoot over the top of a tall defender and get a bucket. On this transition play, you see that Kyrie catches and he doesn't embrace any contact. He doesn't seek any contact. Rather, Gary Payton is the one to step up into his frame and seek contact and play more physical. So what does Kyrie do to counteract the defense's physicality? He now gets himself low. He gets his whole chest face down towards the ground. And why would he do that? Every coach tells you keep your head up. Always keep your eyes up. Why did Kyrie do that? Because now he's in a position to where he's still functionally strong. So he could break that rule when the coach says to not put your chest down. So now what this allows Kyrie to do is get lower than his defender, and all it takes for him is just to rip through to that left to get the step, and now he floats as he sees Looney play help as he drops back. If you ever want to get open and get the ball in the half court, you have to be physical. So you got Jimmy Butler guarding Kyrie now, and he's his primary defender. So Jimmy, being bigger, is going to try to use his strength to be able to counteract Kyrie's skill and his quickness. So what does Kyrie do? He matches that physicality, nudges him off, gets to space, and is able to operate now off the triple threat. And as Kyrie reads the floor, watch Jimmy Butler's head. He ends up turning 2 times, worrying about whether or not there's going to be a screen coming from his left side or from his right side. And so now this tells you, as a defender, Jimmy Butler is not completely focused and honed in on just staying in front of Kyrie in an isolation. So now what does this allow Kyrie to do? Get into his bag, utilize moves that's going to force Jimmy Butler to bite just a little more, help his angles, and as he drives, watch the contact. He takes his shoulder straight into Jimmy, and since he was able to get his angles because that first move threw Jimmy Butler off, he goes straight up in rhythm. So now Jimmy Butler's in a spot where he can't even pull away from the contact, and he's just forced to foul Kyrie, and now Kyrie's able to get that and one. Because 1, he matched Jimmy Butler's physicality, and 2, he read the floor and was timely with his attack. The purpose of using contact is to create yourself space and to get angles. But what if you have something else there to be able to get you space and get you your angles? So on this play from Kyrie, he catches on the left wing and Moody is in front of him. Kyrie's now playing off the triple threat. And notice what's happening to Kyrie's right. He ends up getting a screen. And with that screen coming up, Kyrie no longer needs to go and attack, seek contact, because he already, 1, has space between him and Moody, and 2, Moody's attention is focused on that screen. So what can Kyrie do now that he has improved and nearly perfected the triple threat game? Just pull up with the space that he has and get his bucket without needing contact. On this play, it's important to understand how the smallest amount of contact can be able to get you all the separation that you need. And so as Kyrie catches on his right side and isos Buddy Hield, he has an empty right corner, right? So what does Kyrie do when he begins his attack? He's going to go off to his right side. But notice that left arm from Kyrie, that off arm swipe. A lot of y'all know about it, but you don't know the details of it. You don't know the depths of it. And so going back, if you take a look at the second angle of this play, when Kyrie now uses that off arm, Buddy Hield now opens up that left foot to now beat Kyrie to a spot, particularly somewhere downhill, which is now going to force Buddy Hield to cross step, open up his base, and create that separation that Kyrie has right as he picks the ball up before he goes up into a shot. And that was simply all done because that off-arm swipe told Buddy Hield Kyrie is going to go downhill. And so when a defender thinks they're going to go downhill, they change the entire way that they move. And so now Kyrie's able to have separation, go up, and get his bucket. What connects this concept of using contact to score in Kyrie's game as a whole is 1 Corinthians 9:26, which says, "Therefore I do not run like someone running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air." In this scripture, the Apostle Paul is using running as a metaphor to talk about his walk as a disciple. And so similarly in a basketball sense, for these plays that we've seen from Kyrie, he has intention similar to what we've seen from the Apostle Paul. He is not doing things aimlessly. He's always has a purpose behind the things that he is doing. And for the Apostle Paul, he's talking about what he's doing with the church and spreading the gospel. Now when it comes to Kyrie in his game, everything that he has built within his game has been done with an intention. Him seeking contact is intentional. Him using his shoulder, his off arm, where he takes a step is done with an intention. And it's all has the real root of intention by reading the defense. So as you guys try to begin to incorporate these aspects into your game, understand that you must read the defense and that you also must train these little details and get it to a point where it's subconscious. It's something that gets into a flow by getting these repetitions in and day out. So be intentional with what you practice, be intentional with what you see, be intentional with what you think, and also be intentional with what you choose. So discipline or regret, you choose.